Hello and welcome once again to Akusi's vlog. Today we are going to prepare fufu or fufuo without pounding. And fufu is a tree word that originated from the Akans in Ghana, but now is found in almost all cuisines in West Africa. Come with me as I take you through the process today. First of all, you need your water and then your plantain or cocoyam powder. Also, you need your spatula. There are two ways, either the traditional one or the one I'm showing you now. So with the first method, I'm going to heat my water and bring it to a boil. Whilst waiting, I'm going to scoop 2 cups of my plantain powder into another bowl and mix it with water till it's lump free. Now I made the plantain flour in the house and I'll upload the video on it next week, so kindly check it out. So this is the consistency we want. This is a no-fail proof method of preparing your plantain fufu without any lumps, and it's also friendly for beginners who are not used to the other method I will show you later on. So once the water starts boiling, it's time to add in your mixture. This time round, you stir it continuously till it starts forming into a ball, and this is the easiest way to prepare it. And also, when you're not so sure of the water quantity, once it starts boiling, just scoop a little out into another bowl, and then when it starts forming into a boil and it's so heavy or thick to stir, you just add your water to it gradually. Now, once it starts curdling, don't stop turning it. You have to exert a little bit of pressure into it, and then you keep on stirring till the color changes. Now, one trick with knowing whether your fufu is well done or not is to be listening or to be smelling the aroma of it. Yes, I said listen because that's how we translate directly from the tree to it. Intino tie pampan no. So would you go for fry? Ya na pampan no different, but baby pampan no start born to say body and nasa banche. Inti no one who say fufu no are you ready? So once you smell that it doesn't smell like the flowery smell again, it means your fufu is ready. Now continue with the stirring process till you get this consistency. If you want it a little bit hard, just cover it and allow it to simmer on low heat for 2 to 5 minutes. But then when you want it a little bit soft, you add a little bit of water to it, you cover it up, and then you wait for 5 minutes till it boils over, and then you continue with the stirring process. Make sure you remove all the sides, and then you also remove the base of it so that it doesn't stick to your saucepan, and then you cover it up. Also, when you're not eating it at the moment, you can add a little bit of salt to preserve it. But then if you're eating it right away, just neglect the salt. So this is how it looks like after 5 minutes. It has boiled over, the color has also changed. So it's time to continue with the stirring process for an additional 5 minutes, and then you are good to go. You see, when I started, the color was a bit off-white, but now it's turning yellow like the plantain color we all know. So it's time to mix the two together. Now, to be on the safer side, just mix it little at a time on the sides till you are done. And I would advise to also use a stainless steel pan, because when you use the non-stick, the base of it would in turn come into contact with the food and it would leave a little bit of lumps, but it's not tedious, you just take it out. Other than that, you are good with your non-stick saucepan too. So you see, there are no lumps in this method, and this method, as I showed you, is beginner friendly. You can eat your fufu without any lumps in it. If you are still not okay with the texture of it, you add a little bit of water, cover it up, and then you continue. But then I'm okay with it. I love the consistency and the texture, so it's time to mold it. So in my bowl, I'm going to scoop a little into it, and then make sure I scoop a little bit of water into my earthenware, use my tapoli to shape it nicely into the ball that I want. Yes, traditionally we use mortar and pestle, but when you find yourself in a place where you can't get your local fufu, this is a simple way of preparing it. So we are done. You can eat it in your asanka, or you can transfer it into any deep bowl of your choice, and then you use water to dress it. The second method, I'm going to put water into another bowl like you see here. This time the heat isn't on, and then I'm scooping a cup of cocoyam flour into it. I'm going to mix this consistency till it's lump free. All this while the stove is not on. This method is not beginner friendly because when the water becomes more than the flour, you're going to get a watery fufu and nobody would want to eat it and then turn into porridge. But then when you also and the mix is better that way, because that way when it starts curdling and it becomes hard, you add a little bit of water into it. So this is the consistency you need to get when you are using this particular method. So you keep on stirring, it will start forming into lumps. Don't mind it, continue with the stirring process till it starts being a ball or forming into a ball. This will take roughly 5 minutes to achieve that. The original fufu ingredients in Ghana are cocoyam, plantain, yams or cassava, which is boiled and then pounded into a ball form using the mortar and the pestle. But now it's found in almost all West African cuisines with different ways of preparing it, and trust me, it's so nice. Though the traditional or the local way of pounding is more nicer than this method. But what would you do if you find yourself where you can't find the local ingredients to use? You have to improvise, and this is another sure method of getting it right. So now I'm adding a little bit of water. I'm going to cover it up, wait for 5 minutes, and then come and check it out. Now it has boiled over, so I only need to mix the two till the water is mixed with the fufu, and then we are done with it. Now we eat this one mostly with any type of soup. Yes, in Ghana, our soups are a little bit watery than the rest of our West African neighbors, who mostly eat their soups more or less in a thicker form. So we have a runny type of soup, and it's so good with it. So my friends who have been asking why our soups are very light, this is the reason why we eat our fufu with light soups. Yes, it doesn't have to be too thick, and then we like it that way. Moreover, this one is a starchy or carbohydrate content, so we need something light to combine it with. So this also came out lamb-free, very stretchy, like the normal fufu we eat in the mortar and pestle. And trust me, it's done here. So you continue stirring for about 5 minutes, and then you take it out of the fire. If you don't like the consistency, be adding water in bits till you get the right consistency that you want. Don't add more water at a go because you wouldn't like the results. It might become too soft. So after, I'm going to sprinkle water into my earthenware. I do this so that the fufu doesn't stick to the base of my earthenware. And then it also make it easy when you want to mold it. So you can do this whilst it's hot, or you can allow it to cool completely, and then you just mold it into the shape that you want. If it's lumpy, you just take the lump ones out, and then you are good to go. So when you're done molding it, you serve it with any soup of your choice. Now, if you don't know or if you don't have any idea on the type of soup to prepare to, you can go into my playlist. I have a lot of Ghanaian made soup there titled Ghana soup recipes. You can just find yourself one of these soup recipes and then prepare it to go with your fufu, and trust me, you would always ask for more. So we eat it with a lot of proteins with our soup, and then you adjust it with some okra, which is also optional, and then some habanero pepper. So let me know in the comment section the type of soup you eat your fufu with. Now, thank you lovely people for watching my video. Don't forget to like, share me out, comment on my videos, and invite your friends and family so that we also grow this lovely channel together. Till we see each other next time, is bye bye.